What's up? Today I'm going to be going through my personal top 9 elements on Intimidator 305. My 200th credit definitely deserves an element countdown. It's not that many elements, but I'm going to count them down. These are just the moments on the ride that I was looking forward to experiencing the most. That, after I rode it, these were the ones that I was like, here it comes. And preparing for, I was like, yes, I can't wait to experience this element again. Again, shout out to Millennium Force Man for his POV footage, but let's hop into the video. I hope you enjoy it. Number 9 is the trimmed hill. I expected this to give some airtime going in, but it really didn't. Maybe a little floater, but that's it. One of the times it wasn't trimmed hard, so I did get some decent floater, but I wasn't a fan of this element. I really think this element hurt the pacing on this ride. It just doesn't feel like it belongs on the ride. And it's a part where you can catch your breath and look at your surroundings, and I really wish a different element was put here. Number 8 is the turning hill. This is the hill that turns after the trimmed hill. This doesn't give much airtime either. It's higher though because it turns, and turning is good. I like turning in some scenarios, and this feels like I'm turning back into I-305 and leaving the airtimeless hills. So that's why it's higher, but it's nothing special. Number 7 is the pop into the final brakes. This is a pretty good pop into the brakes. I don't think it usually gives ejector, but usually a quick pop of ejector is what I'd say. The pop into these brakes is a really weird feeling, to be honest. Kind of feels like when you're done with the speed hill on King Dakar. I know that might make no sense, but something about it is like that. Maybe it's just the restraints, but I don't know. Don't ask me. Number 6 is the final snap. It's not the whippiest one on the ride, but it still feels crazy. On the right side, it actually hurts a little bit. I hit my arm multiple times on the right side until I eventually figured out how to brace myself. That made it feel less insane, but at least I wasn't whacking my arm. This element is really good. I do think it's a good way to end the ride. Not one of the best finales or anything, but it's decent. It does feel kind of repetitive though. Number 5 are the triple snaps. This element I think is a little overrated. A lot of people made it seem like it would be whiplash, but I wouldn't go that far. It was very snappy and even gave little pops of lateral airtime, but it's far from the best part of the ride to me. The final snap is the whippiest. The first snap is pretty much just as whippy, but less consistent. And the middle snap isn't even a snap, it doesn't do anything. But even though I've been talking trash, I still do like the element. It's just a little bit overrated to me. Number 4 is the first drop. No, this drop does not have ejector. That's just stupid. And yes, it does have airtime. It has some good floater. You come forward into your seat. It's pretty sustained. It gave slight butterflies once, but that was all, just once. It's far from one of the top drops I've experienced, not even close to one of the best. It's not really a standout element, but it's pretty fun. It is a good drop, and it's a pretty good way to start off this ride. Number 3 is the first turn. This is the most forceful element I felt. It has the most sustained amount of insane positive G-forces. The first half isn't blackout intense, but you may grade out just a little bit. Then during the second half of it, you should full on blackout every single time going into the next element. I don't see how anyone could keep their vision on this, no matter how much they hydrate, no matter how tough they are, no matter how prepared they are for this element. There's no escaping blackness taking over your vision. It might be too much for some people, but I personally enjoy it. Most enthusiasts praise it, and it's not the best part of the ride for me, but it's still really good. I'm more of an airtime guy, which is why the top 2 have to do with negative G's. Number 2 is the sustained hill. This does not give Skyrush level airtime. Just because one part about the ride is good doesn't make the other aspects of the ride automatically insane. Yes, this is ejector, especially when warmed up, but not Skyrush level. Chill out there. It's pretty sustained, as the name Sustained Hill suggests, and while you're rising up, and you're still blacking out, and maybe sometimes can regain the slightest of vision going down. The over the shoulder restraints do restrict that a little bit, but you can feel your whole body being pressed against it, so it feels fun either way. The front is where this element really shines, especially with a full train on a hot day when it's hauling. That gives some awesome airtime. And number 1 is the turn or snap after the sustained hill. This element is really good either way. It didn't matter if it was warmed up, but if it was definitely better. You can't see at the beginning of it, then comes a pop of ejector as you're turning to the left. Kind of feels like an outer bank a little bit. You really can't see on it either or coming out of the element. It's really an overload. I did not expect this to be anything special going into the ride, but I love that it gives you some great airtime while not really being able to see. It's not one of my top elements of all time. It's an awesome element, and without this I-305 would drop in my overall rankings by a few spots. And I feel like the fact that this is the first kind of snappy element on the ride, just it's not as repetitive as the other ones, which also I think boosts this for me and makes this my favorite element on the ride. So that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. What's your favorite element on my 305? Do you agree with my choice of that turn or snap after the sustained hill? Or do you prefer the intensity of the first turn, maybe the whippy triple snaps, or any other element on the ride? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and reasoning. Make sure to share the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later.